Hello my pretties! As you can tell by the new decor, new backdrop, new everything, I have moved. Which is the reason why I haven't been able to post so many videos of late. All of my stuff has just been crammed into bags and we've been shifting house. It's also the reason for my really crappy skin right now. And you're living off a diet of Pepsi and junk food and stuff that you order in from out, your skin's gonna say sorry, we can't handle this, and just kind of freak out like mine is doing. Now, one thing I discovered when moving is that there's a lot of waiting time. And frankly, there are only so many sites you can surf on your phone before it crashes, and only so many games of Candy Crush you can play before you're thoroughly bored. And so, with all that waiting time on my hands, I started rereading my book collection, which those of you who follow me on Instagram will know is a lot. And so, since I haven't done a favorites video in a while, I decided that I would do a sort of favorite books. Yeah, I know it sounds like it's going to be super boring, but I promise you that it's got stuff that even if you're not an avid reader, even if you loathe picking up books, you will find something that you like in this and something that you can read to pass the time. Although I know it sounds crazy coming from a girl who absolutely adores history and historical biographies, I actually am a big person for books that are easy to read. Sort of like the Enid Blyton series that I used to read when I was young. You know, books that you can pick up any book in the series, it doesn't matter which one, and you will still know who the main characters are and what's going on. You don't need to go and start from the beginning. Like, for example, Game of Thrones, which I hate in point of principle. And let's get onto my list, and I'll tell you the books that you can read, you know, to pass time in an airport, on a train, while you're waiting for a bus, when you've just got a couple of minutes. Now, the easiest things to read are magazines. I am a big fan of Cosmopolitan, of Glamour, of Tatler, Teen Vogue. I'm not a very big fan of the Indian magazines. I only wind up reading either the British Glamour or the British Cosmo or even the US Teen Vogue. For all of you who are mad fans of the Kardashians, the May 2015 has got Kylie Jenner on the cover, and this is the July 2015 edition of Glamour with Kate Hudson. I also like the British Vogue for this, the British Glamour for this Hey It's Okay page, which is really fun, and their list of do's and don'ts at the back, which is nice as well. Now, for those of you who want a storyline with your pictures, there's nothing like a comic. And to all those people who say comics are for kids, that's BS. I think you can relate to any kind of comic, no matter how old you are or how young you are. And for those of you who say comics aren't educational, I have learned random words in Japanese and Swahili. Betty and Veronica and Archie's are some of my favorite comics to read. They're small, so easily carried in a bag when you're traveling. If you're not really into Archie's, another good comic to read is Calvin and Hobbes. He's a kid with a toy tiger who tends to come to life when he's alone with his friend, when he's alone. It's a toy tiger when he's with everybody else. Now, the intriguing thing in this comic is it really a tiger that's just masquerading as a stuffed toy, or is it just his imagination that makes the tiger come to life? It's got some really great real-life situations where houses are burgled, where he doesn't want to go on vacation with his parents, where he's bullied in school, and everything's tackled with a bit of humor. Also, if you're into Japanese manga, or if you would like to be, I like the comics, the manga that are done by Clamp. That is a group of female manga artists. And for those of you who used to watch Animax when you were little, they did the Cardcaptor series. Now, if you're a typical girly girl and you like your books peopled with tall, dashing, mysterious, handsome men who sweep young ladies off their feet, then Stephanie Lawrence and Julia Quinn are hands down the best romance writers to read. The stories are really, really great. They're romantic, but yet the characters that people the stories are very realistic. You feel that this is something that could happen to you in real life. I know most people tend to go to the Mills and Boons, but I find that a lot of their situations are very, very unrealistic. And quite often I've tried to read the books, and a couple of chapters in, or sometimes even pages in, I'll throw the book down and think, oh my god, no, a girl is not going to behave like that, or how really stupid that is, or how like creepy and controlling the guy is. But these books are great, and you will love the heroes, you will wish you were the heroines, and you will go around looking for romance and magic. You'll expect it to show up around every corner. If you're typically into mysteries and thrillers, there are always a dime a dozen available, and new authors the likes of along the lines of Dan Brown keep coming up. But if you kind of like the classics, Agatha Christie is one of the best. I adore Hercule Poirot. I have read and reread every book. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle is amazing. If you have not read Sherlock Holmes, you need to go and read those mysteries. They are fabulous. A more recent writer is C.J. Sansom. He writes about Tudor. His mysteries are set in Tudor England, and his hero is a hunchback lawyer. Yes. Humor to me is always P.G. Wodehouse. His Jeeves collection, this one is Much Obliged Jeeves. So his Jeeves and Bertie Wooster collection are brilliant. The Blandings Castle, that's another series that he's written, which involves Lord Elmsworth, I think, and his prize pig. Oh my god, they will have you laughing out loud. Another really good humorous writer is Emma Bombeck. She writes brilliantly, or rather, she wrote brilliantly, and her books are just really awesome. They're all about the trials of motherhood and everyday life, and very funny. Who else is good humor-wise? If you like the classics, then Oscar Wilde is brilliant. His scenarios are sarcastic and funny in that typically British way. I like his stuff as well. If you want to relive your childhood, then I think you have to go to Enid Blyton. This is from the Five Find Outers series. It's the Mystery of the Hidden House. I always like the Five Find Outers better than the Famous Five. I don't know why. I think it had something to do with Bets and Fatty. Yeah, there actually is a boy called Fatty in the book. It's quite funny. You should give it a read if you do like Enid Blyton. But she's got a ton of things, from her school series to these Five Find Outers and Dog to the Famous Five to oh gosh, I think there was the Secret Seven as well. Then there was the Adventurous Four. There was all those adventure things with the Circus of Adventure and the Ship of Adventure. She's got a ton of books, and if you want to relive your childhood with Enid Blyton, you can find almost anything. It covers all genres. She's really good. If you want something more recent and a little more grown up, I would suggest either the Gossip Girl series or the It Girl series. A word of warning though, if you are reading either the It Girl or Gossip Girl, make sure that your credit cards are locked somewhere far, far away and completely inaccessible, because the way she describes clothes and shoes and bags, I promise you, if you have your credit card and you're anywhere near a store, you are going to go into that store after you finish reading this book, and you're going to come out with tons and tons of bags. Her books will make you a shopaholic, and that's a warning. Consider that. Consider yourselves warned. Don't come to me later and say, hey, we read the book and now I'm 30,000 in debt. You will be, if you're not careful. Now, none of the books that I have recommended thus far are going to require much by way of concentration from you, except I think for the C.J. Sansom book. Everything else you can just pick up as you like, read, put down, pick up again, 3 months later, and you will be able to, pick up from where you left. You don't have to reread the story. They're the perfect distraction. If, however, you are an avid reader and you really would like something, that you can concentrate on, something that you can get lost in, then these are my picks. They're older books, they're not new ones, but The Drowning Girl by Margaret Leroy. It's a really fabulous story. It involves a little bit of past lives, and it's a really, really great mystery. Very enjoyable. It's set in Britain and in Ireland. Another book that I thought was brilliant is called Perfume, The Story of a Murderer by Patrick Soskind, I think is the name. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce his name. This is an absolutely brilliant book. As it promises, it is the story of a murderer, but not in a gory, icky murder way. Yes, so it's about this guy who has got an amazing sense of smell, and it's kind of the extent that he goes to murder for the sort of to make the kind of perfumes that he wants to make. He wants to capture a specific scent, and in the quest to do that, he winds up murdering a lot of people. It's very well written and very absorbing. If you love history, then this is Con Iggulden? Con Iggulden, right? This is a series on the Wars of the Roses. Stormbird is, I think, the first one. And I've always loved the Wars of the Roses. I've been fascinated by the story of the Princess and the Tower. And yeah, I just found that whole period in British history fascinating. So it's a nice book. You can also, if you want something more female geared, is there such a word? If you want something with women as central characters from that period, you can read Philippa Gregory's series of that time. She chronicles all of the lives of most of the major female people. God, okay, that just sounds really, really stupid. She chronicles the lives of most of the women who are central to the story, but be warned, she is not in the least bit historically accurate. Really looking for a good story, and it's a great book to read. And of course, if you want something about India, The Empire of the Mughals series by Alex Rutherford is great. This is the first book in the series about Babur. As most of you probably know, I've been going up and down to Delhi and seeing all of these ruins and seeing all of these forts and palaces and stuff like that. So for me, these books have been really interesting. And if you're planning a trip to Delhi, or if you're just interested in Indian history, they're very well written and a great coverage of the Mughal Empire from the point of view of the ruler. Well, I hope that some of these books and magazines and comics will inspire you to read, because I think reading is a great habit and it really does open up all sorts of worlds, different kind of worlds to you, and build your imagination. But anyhow, I won't bore you with that. If you want to, please leave a comment and tell me the kind of books that you like to read, or maybe your favorite books. And I'd love, especially if there's some really good author that you found or something like that, because I love to get new books to read myself. You can also tell me which books you like or which magazines you liked from this. If you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I will put the link for my Twitter, for my Instagram, for the subscribe thing, everything in the little box. And until then, happy reading, and I will see you again soon. Bye!